unlock this door with the key of imagination.
But we decided, Steve and I, that we actually needed to bolster the design group with people with different ideas and different concepts about how to build pinball. So he and I jumped on an airplane and we went to California. And we first stopped to meet Harry Williams. Harry Williams, whose name Williams Electronics uses, was a terrific gentleman. Harry, to sit at the same table with Harry and Steve, was a child in a candy shop watching the brilliance of the two people talking about days gone by, the history of the industry, and the potential future of what the industry could achieve. I will never forget that time with Steve and Harry. But shortly after that, I had arranged an interview meeting with a young technician / game designer in Northern California. I actually was trying to find someone else within the organization, and that person said to me, "I'm not the guy, but this guy is the guy that you should talk to." So he came in, Steve and I sat there and talked to him and interviewed him. He was totally enamored of being in the same room with Steve Kordak. He had the energy and enthusiasm and concept and design and willingness to really move forward in becoming a truly great game designer. I hired him on the spot, Steve Ritchie. Steve. Steve actually accepted the job, but he said to me, "There's someone else here that you have to talk to. This guy is a genius. He's played games all his life. He draws universes on his bedroom wall. He's crazy. He's wonderful. His name is Dr. J." I said, "Can you arrange an interview meeting with him for us?" He said, "Yes." The next day, I hired on the spot Eugene Jarvis. Eugene is not here tonight, but the two Steves, Steve Kordak, Steve Ritchie, and one other person who joined the core group with brilliance and a pain in the ass from no end, who had the talent, had played pinball all his life, grew up playing Gottlieb games. How Gottlieb never hired him, I don't know. Graduate from MIT, became part of the core group, Larry DeMora. That group together, we did some pretty incredible things. I tried to hire Roger Sharp also several times, but he was too busy dealing with children in New York. And it's a time that I missed that we weren't able to get him. But we did do a game of his that he actually had designed and talked to Steve about for quite some time. And Steve came to me one day and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Let's do it." We called it Barracore. He didn't like the name or the picture, but he was thrilled to have his game in Whitewood and in a final version. This group that we put together, along with the rest of the engineering group, the manufacturing group, and all the support people, was like catching lightning in a bottle. Never in my extensive and long professional career have I ever enjoyed being with a group of people more than I was with them. It was 8 years of bliss. The only thing that I am sorry about is that it didn't last for 50 years. It was tremendous, it was exciting. We did innovative and creative things. We had some of the most exciting games in the industry. And with all deference to Alvin Gottlieb and Gary Stern, Gary ran 14 different companies during this time. Every one of them had a niche. I tried to convince Gary at some point that putting out a game a month was too much. And the reason was I couldn't keep up with him. That's the truth. Gary sits here as the lone survivor of the industry, and my hat's off to you, sir. I think that my involvement in this industry started with your dad, and the industry for me will finish with you. So thank you for the closure on that. So this has been exciting. It's been an exciting ride. The time that we spent at Williams, and I'm sure at Gottlieb, at Stern, at Midway, at Valley, and Chicago Coin, anyone who walked through those doors on a regular basis never walked through with the attitude that they were going to work. We all had fun. We all had a wonderful time. And it truly is wonderful to be here with you tonight, and I thank you. And before I finish, there's the stories at Williams can go on and on and on, starting with the third floor of the Seaberg building when we put together the quote advanced development team to develop the system. And I have one story to tell you. The third floor of Seaberg was hell reincarnate. It hadn't had a human being walk the floor for 25, 30 years. Literally. There were four-legged creatures with long tails that left their footprints in the soot that was all over the third floor. We cleaned up one large room and we started the development. And it was April or May and the weather was nice and the air conditioning kind of worked. But the story I want to tell you is the first time we turned on the heat on the third floor. David Poole was buried in the cabinet. Ron and Ken and a number of other people were around. The heat came on and it was like black snow. David, I walked in about this time. David lifts up. His face is snow white and his body is jet black. The stories, there are some wonderful stories, some touching stories.